Hey there, you. Yeah, you. You know you love nail art and you are in the right place. Welcome back to the channel, Yay. This is the Pink Kittens Nail Atelier, and I am your host, Kira Lynn, your friendly neighborhood and soft gel nail tech. I have everything that you need for your Korean and soft gel, Japanese soft gel needs. So if that is your thing, come on and join me, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Friends, don't you just love multi-dimension nails? This has got to be one of my favorite trends. Today, I'm going to bring you a really quick, very cute design that we're going to do. And I've already done the nail extension, so we can get straight into the art. So if this design catches your fancy, go ahead, grab your polishes, and join me. So I've already done the extension with my diami canoe tips. This is the Feel So Good collection, and I have to say, you've got to get your hands on these tips. I'm going to show you guys the box. These are some Korean soft gel tips by Diami, and these are called canoe tips. And they have got to be the most comfortable tips that I have ever used. They're easy to do. You don't even have to file them. You literally just put the Feel So Good base, or I'm not sorry, that's the top. The Feel So Good base on, put the tip on, put this on top, then go underneath with the top coat, and you're done. You don't even have to buff them. You do buff your natural nail beforehand, though, but you can go ahead and start right in with your art. So I've already done all of that process. For today, I'm going to be using from the Fiote Wonderland Collection the blue, pink, and yellow, which is the WL01, WL05, and WL03 respectively. That's what we're going to create our multi-dimension and our single yellow nails with. I've got some little bow charms we're going to be using. First, I always start with my Black Dahlia peel off lacquer. That just makes it so if I want to change my polish every day, I can, but I keep my tips on. So it just makes it easier for me. I can leave a link to this in the description if you guys want to know where I get this. This is a water-based peel off. This is not what I use under my extensions. This is what I use on top of my extensions. This is just so I can peel the polish off, and it comes off really easy. You wouldn't use this under your extensions because it would come off too easy. For under the extensions, if you're looking for a peel off, I suggest Jello from Donji Nail. That's one of the better ones that you can use. So let me get all of my stuff together and I will be right back. Alright guys, so just to let you know, I've got some lint-free wipes, some blue scrub, I've got my Crystal Nails Top Shine Extreme Top Coat, also from the Fiote Wonderland Collection. I have 2 glitters that I am going to be putting in the middle of the dimension, but you can also use a pigment rub for that. I also have some Yuki flakes, or some of the dragon flakes. In Russian school we call them Yuki flakes, but they're just the ultra thin flakes that you can put to make more dimension. You're going to want a nice white gel paint from the Chelly's gel paint collection from Valentino. I'm going to use the white. I've got my Gracia Crazy Top to put my charms on with, and that's about it. I think I'm ready to go. So I'm letting my Black Dahlia dry before I get started. With that peel off, you want to make sure it is completely dry. So I'm going to wait for that to dry completely, and I'll be right back. Okay, so they're just about completely dry. I forgot to mention, you're going to want to use some type of a leveling gel. I'm going to use my Tiny Gel Easy Gelling in between just to add some more depth to the layers. But you can use a builder base or anything like that, or even just a base coat in between. If that's all you have, that's fine. You could also use the Diami Feel So Good Strong Base as an in-between leveler. All right. So we're going to start with the first nail. I'm going to start with some pink. And I'm literally just going to drag it down the nail like so. If you get too much on there, you can always take it off with a brush after. You're going to want to keep these open as you go along because it's going to move pretty quickly. So I'm going to swipe the blue across. And if you get any on there, you can always just wipe it off before you put it back in the bottle. Just be sure to check before you place them back in the bottle. You don't want to mix your pigments. And I'm going to come down with the yellow. Now you can use any 3 contrasting colors for this. It doesn't have to be the pink, blue, and yellow. I just chose these because I felt like these were the strongest contenders. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take my brush and kind of just blend out the edges. You want it to be wispy. You don't want it to be full coverage. You want to use syrup gels if you don't have the Wonderland collection. You want to make sure you're using some type of Korean syrup gels, or that just means a sheer pigment, a jelly gel, a translucent color is what you want to use for this. If you don't, you won't get the same dimensional effect with it. You won't be able to see the Yuki flakes underneath, and it just won't have the same effect. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next nail. I'll start with the blue for this one. Okay. Pink. Yellow. Okay. Again, I'm just going to blend any edges around the nail and any sharp edges within. Sharp border lines is what I'm meant to say. You don't want any sharp border lines. You want everything kind of wispy and just really well blended. One of the nice things about syrup gels is that they do kind of blend if you let them sit a while. They'll blend on their own, as you can see. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do my thumbnail as well. Start with the yellow, then do the blue, and then I'll do the pink. I'm just going to move some from the top to the bottom. There's a little too much clarity down there and a little too much pigment up here. And I'm going to clean that up on the side. Let me get a cleaner brush for that just in case I have some accidents. And we'll use this one for today. Check the other ones, make sure I don't have anything going over my edges. Clean up anything that spills over the sides. We're going to go ahead and cure this for 60 seconds. Next, I'm going to apply the glitter. I want this to go in the middle so it's not so present on top. And I just want a very, very small amount. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on my palette. And I'll apply it with a smaller brush, as well as the golden glitter. These are the 2 glitters that come in the Wonderland kit. The numbers for these are, 1 second, I'll let you guys know, CL27 and CL28. Okay, so I'm going to grab a little bit of the glitter and just kind of come down a little bit. In a couple of places. Kind of like you would do with the white when you're marbling. But you're going to go a little bit more blended than that. We'll take some of the gold and come down on a slant. Blend that out a little bit. Okay. Now, I am actually going to grab some of the white paint out of the jar. I'm going to grab a spatula to get this out with. 1 second. Just tiny little bit is all you need. Put that on your palette. You don't want to waste gel paints, particularly if they're the expensive ones, because when paints cost a lot, you don't want to have to buy them more than once within 2 years. Because you do have to replace them every couple of years, but you don't want to have to do that more than once. So I'm going to take my liner brush and run it through the white. And you just want a really stiff kind of white. The kind that it's really heavily pigmented. It's a hard white, okay? And we're going to come down on a slant as well with that. And we're going to take this brush and we're going to blend one side of the line, just one side. You can blend that with that gold a little bit. That's perfectly fine. And that looks good. And we will continue this with the other nails. Go ahead and wipe my brush off so I don't get any of the white where I don't want it. So I'm going to grab some of the glitter. Come down a little bit on a slant. These are going to be a little bit lighter than the other hand. The first attempt I had at this, I was a little bit heavy-handed with the pigments, but it's supposed to be lighter. So if you start off a little heavy, just erase it and start over. Or, you know, remove it and start over. I was in a little bit of a hurry, so I couldn't do that. Okay, so I kind of like the way that looks. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my white. Go in the same direction again, across the nail. And maybe we'll do another little shoot off line from this one, just for variation. Okay. Let's go ahead and blend that out a little bit. One side only, remember. So what I like to do is when I have 2 lines like this, I'll blend them towards each other. Oh, I'm so sorry. There went the light. Okay. So we're going to do this side of the white line. Just kind of blend that in there towards the other line. So I blend them both towards that middle valley there, so to speak. And that makes it look like a little bit more natural marble. Again, I'll do the same here. I'll blend it towards the valley between the 2 lines. It just makes it look a little bit more natural. Alrighty. Now I'm going to go ahead and cure this for 60 seconds. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply some of the Yuki flakes on top of that. So I love these because they're really thin and easy to apply. I'm going to grab my tweezers. And I just want a very minimal amount. I don't want too much on each nail. Just enough to where when I cover it with some more of the gel, it'll peek through. These flakes are really, really vibrant. I will leave a link to where I got them off of AliExpress, so they show up really well. Put a little bit more on this one. You can put more or less on other ones. You're trying to cover up the white line and the glitter, because we're going to add another layer of color over this now to add another dimension. But before I do that, what I am going to do is actually put some tiny gel easy gelling just to make that dimension even more pronounced. This is a very thin, clear gel that I'm going to layer over this now. This will help to level out those flakes that I just put on and those different levels of glitter and color.
It's still on. Oh.
And once we've done this, we're going to pop it back in the lamp for 60 seconds. Just watch and make sure you don't get your flakes back in your bottle. You replace your brush back in. Mine seem to be, they don't usually do that. They're pretty good about sticking on the nail, but for some reason today, they're not wanting to stay. They're wanting to go onto the brush. So just be mindful of that and give it a little wipe with a lint-free cloth. And place that, and I'm going to pop this in the lamp for 60 seconds. All right, now we're going to do one more layer of the 3 colors. So I'm going to come across with the pink. Now remember, we're wanting to cover up the white lines in the flakes, but you still want to kind of see them, so you don't want this thick. You want this quite translucent, okay? If you put too much, remember, you can always remove it. That looks good. And I'm going to blend that out a little bit, so there's no harsh lines in it. That looks perfect. That looks about how you want it right there. Absolutely perfect. See how dark these are? This was my first attempt and it kind of was a fail, if I do say so. They're still pretty, but they look more like abstract than an actual wind nail or marble nail. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish these up. Now we're going to pop these back in the lamp for 60 seconds again and cure this layer of color. Double check everything. Make sure you don't have any really harsh areas. If you do, blend them out. That looks good. That looks about how you want it. And we'll be right back. And I'm going to apply the final white lines, and I'm going to go in the opposite direction that I went the first time. So I'm going to come across in this direction now. And you can put as much or as little as you want. Maybe you just want to add on to the already existing line that's there. That's perfectly fine as well. Like so, and we're going to blend those in. Don't forget to blend them. One side only. And add a little bit more white to my brush so that it's a little bit more pronounced. Okay. And this one's really light. To redo that one. That one's a little bit of a mess. We're gonna redo that one. I don't like the way that one came out at all. So let's move on to the next line really quickly. All right, let me clean this line up really quick. Just a little bit thicker than I would like it to be. So I'm going to redo this one. There we go. Perfect. Alrighty, and there we have our final white lines. And we're going to go ahead and also do our yellow pigment now. And we're almost done. Now for this, you're going to want to go thicker, obviously, than you did with the marble nails. The great thing about fiote pigments, the syrups particularly, is they can be quite thick or very, very translucent, depending on how you apply them. They're very versatile, and not all syrups are like that. You'll find that not all Korean gel polishes are equal. All of them are good in their own right. Each brand has its own distinct things that they're very good at or with. Fiote is very good with marbling or nuance art. I find they do quite good for those type of things. And if you want, you can always add a second coat to this. So we're going to go ahead and pop this in the lamp now and cure that. And get that on its way. I've got a piece of hair. It's driving me crazy. I may have to get that after. Okay. It seems to be stuck somewhere. Yep, it is. It's stuck. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pop this in the lamp now for 60 seconds. All right, so let's go ahead and top coat now. These are so, so pretty. I am so happy with how these turned out. I just love this trend. I love marble nails. I've always been into nuance and abstract, and so anyway, if you've never tried fiote, you can get the brand off of zillibo.com. They're really awesome for these type of designs. And they have plenty of wonderful colors to choose from. You can do all kinds of different marble looks. In fact, if you go on their Instagram, they even have some ideas for marble looks. They even have a kit called Nuance that does all kind of things like this. It even has a white textured gel that goes along with it, so it's really cool. You can do the white lines with the textured gel instead of just a flat gel, so it gives it even more dimension. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pop this in the lamp, and then I'm going to apply my bow charms onto the yellow nails. Well, that's it, guys. I
And
hope
here
you've
is
enjoyed
one
this video.
final look.
Thank you
I
so
hope
much
you
for
have
joining me,
enjoyed this
and I'll see you
video,
next time.
friends. So don't forget to subscribe, guys, and be part of the Kitten Crew. If you love all things Japanese Korean gel, soft gel products, or products from all around the world, latest nail trends, if you're a nail art addict, you belong here with this channel, EIA. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. Have a great one.